second part of the unit 3 slide. This is what? Elements of thought. Elements of thought. As we are saying, what thought contains, or what thought is made up of, or what thought consists of. 1 and 8. So what? There are 8 things, right? So there are 8 elements of thought. So we have purpose, questions, information, inference and interpretation, concepts, assumptions, implication and consequences, point of view. Exactly. So when you are thinking, right? When you are thinking, you have to have a purpose. Why are you thinking, right? So that's what that's speaking to. Questions. You ask certain questions. Why is that boy always looking at me? Why is the woman? Why is the lecturer always calling me in class? I don't understand. Oh, why are we broke? So you ask questions, right? So you have a purpose, then you ask questions, and it provokes you. So information. So either you acquire it or you already have it in your head. So maybe that's taken to research. So it's part of your thoughts. Inference and interpretation. You ask your questions, you have information, and you start what? Breaking it down. Okay, what does this mean? If it means this, then maybe this is why this and that happened. Concepts, right? The concepts. Concept means ideas. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So the concepts. The ideas. Concept means ideas. So you have made your inference, your interpretation. You've asked your questions. You know your purpose. You know where you're thinking. Then you start getting ideas. Okay. I'll come to class next week. If I'm not in class, she cannot look at me. She cannot call me. Okay. I'll go and talk to that boy. When will you die? So exactly. Now you make assumptions. So assumptions are very important, right? All the theories that have been propounded since the beginning of time were based on what? Assumptions, right? So assumption is not something that you know, it's something that you assume. Forgive my, circular definition, but it's something that you think you know. And assumptions aren't always true, but assumptions aren't always false. That boy is looking at you. I assume he likes me. Let me, okay, so I have an idea. Let me go talk to that boy. I'm assuming he likes me. So I'll talk to him from, this perspective. That's where point of view comes in, right? So, okay, no. Your point of view, how you are seeing it. So, back to assumption. So, what you think you know, made that assumption. And after you have probably approached the boy, you find out whether or not the assumption is true. Maybe if you don't go to that class, that lecturer will not notice. Then you can ask your friends, did she ask of me? Then you can realize that, oh, okay, then maybe she was not really looking at me. Implication and consequence, right? Implication and consequence. What if you're going to talk to this boy and he bounces me, or he gives me attitude, then to be how I don't laugh at me? I don't go. What if I don't go to your class and she does implications and consequences? Point of view. For discuss that. POV. First person, second person, or third person. Maybe let's say something happens and you're thinking about it. Where are you standing to think, or where are you standing to analyze everything? So that these are the elements of thought. Now, another mnemonic is what? PQI squared CAIB. Yeah. It's very strange to hear, but you never forget anything. The more strange it is, the more you never forget it. Just think about it. Like how human beings have names. The name that was the most strange, you never forget it. But the common names, Kofi this, Kofi this. You see Kofi and you ask him, what's your name again? But those strange ones, those uneasy ones, like PQI squared CAIB. PQI squared Carib, RAE squared. These ones will never leave your mind. So PQI squared Carib. Say it like 10, 20, 30, 100, 1,000 times. And then I'm sure to stick in your head. So let's go to the next part. Come again. This is Steady Said. I'm set. I'm sure you knew that by now. Don't even know why I said it. Let's continue. So this is part 2 of Unit 3. We are starting from Universal Intellectual Standards. Before you did taking a look at the first, which was disposition of a critical thinker, elements of a critical thinker. This is a third, part in the outline. So Universal Intellectual Standards. Universal, worldwide style. Intellectual, standard. So basically what I'm saying is that whenever you make a representation as a critical thinker, or as an intellectual individual, or as an intellect, these are the standards that your representation must conform to. CARCAPR. So the first is clarity, accuracy, precise, relevance. So clarity talks about making sense. Whatever you say, one, should make sense, right? The second is accuracy. Say it like it is. Something can make sense, but it might not be accurate. It might not be the way it is. So after you have made sure that whatever you are saying is making sense, you will ensure that it's accurate. If you are giving a description, you give the description. If a tree is a tree, you don't say a tree is a stick with leaves on it. Be accurate, precise. Give details, right? So you should be able to describe that tree beyond what it's, just giving it. So something can be clear, accurate, but not precise. I hope you are following. Yes, you are following. Follow. Okay. Relevant. Stay on topic. So whatever you are saying should be important to the topic being discussed. So let's put all of this in a scenario. Suppose we have friends, right? 3 friends. They are talking about trees. If one of these friends, let's say Yao, says that, I have a tree back at home, right? It's clear that he's telling that I have a tree back at home, or maybe I have a tree back in my village, and this tree is a big tree, right? So now these are 3 friends talking about trees. So Kweku first says that I have a tree back in my hometown. It's a big tree. It's very clear to understand. What Kweku is saying makes sense and is accurate. He's saying like it's a big tree. Now, what he can do next to conform to the standards is what? To give details. You can say, I'm not lying, but this big tree is bigger than, let's say, the LBC block. It's as tall as the LBC block. So then it has to be a very big tree. How broad is the stem or the get of the tree? It's very. It's like, he gives details. If he can give you a measurement, he gives you a measurement, or he compares it to something. Maybe like 2-3 cars. I don't know where that tree is coming from. So our big tree is tall like the LBC block, and so on and so forth. I get it. And what Yao is saying is relevant to the topic being discussed, right? So this is what a representation that is conforming to the universal intellectual standard looks like. Suppose Kweku gets up among the 3 friends. Now Yao has done very well. Your people gets out. You're looking at them, you're talking. Yeah, you know something? There is a girl in my Kweku. That's how Kweku is. We are talking about cheese. Come talk about girl. Is your topic. So that's it for universal intellectual standard. And we'll move on to the next, which is what? Intellectual virtues. Stay tuned. Like FM. Very well. So the last but one aspect of this unit, intellectual virtues. What is a virtue? A virtue is a behavior which conforms to high moral standards. So if you are adapting it to the context of this slide, we will say intellectual virtues are simply, intellectual behaviors that conform to high intellectual standards. Now, what do you use to develop these intellectual virtues? Any critical thinker, any intellectual who conforms to the universal intellectual standards, which we discuss, clarity, accuracy, relevance, precise, will develop over time. Eventually, you develop what we call intellectual virtues, and they are what? Intellectual curiosity, intellectual humility, intellectual autonomy, intellectual empathy, also what? Intellectual courage, integrity, and perseverance, and faith in reason. So, what this is all saying, so with intellectual curiosity, being intellectually curious, having a mind that consistently you're always questioning, right? You're always curious. Be someone who is always asking why, and not just accepting things. Why you are saying this? Why? It's one of the things that sets a critical thinker aside from everyone else. That's curiosity, that intellectual curiosity. Always ask why, ask questions, be fascinated, find out more. Intellectual humility is simply saying that what? We are all human beings, and we will not always be right. At some point in time, you will say something that's not right, and you have to be humble and be able to say, okay, I made a mistake. What I said was not correct. It's very important, because anyone, however smart you are, wherever you are free, you are going to make, certain representations that are not true, that are not accurate, and it's human and it's intellectually humble for you to say that, no, I'm sorry, it's not like this, it's like this and like that. So it's okay to make mistakes. Just make sure that you self-regulate. See, it's all coming together. Now, autonomy simply means that what? Don't be someone who is just receiving things. Like, have you ever met, maybe you belong to, this group of people. Excuse me, it's not an insult, but there are people who always go like, they said. Don't be like that, right? If you conform to the intellectual standards, universal intellectual standards, over time you develop what we call intellectual autonomy, and so you have to be responsible for what you say, right? So stop doing they said. It's your responsibility to go and do your own research. Make sure that whatever you are saying, you have done your research and you have your own facts to back it up, right? So it's simply talking about being able to stand and defend your representations. Now, intellectual empathy is simply your ability to look at things from other people's perspectives, right? Someone makes a representation, you don't agree with it, you don't lambast the person, you don't attack them, you simply come back, and also before you even counter what they said, you try and understand them, right? And you always make sure to talk about what they are saying and not them. So intellectual empathy, put yourself in the place of other people. Try to see their intellectual perspective before making a move. Intellectual courage, see what's in your mind. Integrity, if you are saying something, then you are abiding by it. Perseverance, keep going non-stop. Don't give up on whatever it is that you are trying to understand. Don't give up on whatever it is that you are trying to find out. Keep going non-stop and have courage in pursuing it. Faith in reason. Always put your faith in reason as a critical thinker, and don't give in to irrational beliefs. So that is it for for the intellectual virtues. I want to look at impediments to critical thinking. So our last aspect, or our last section for this unit is Unit 3, critical thinking and a critical thinker. So we're going to look at the impediments of critical thinking, or the impediments to critical thinking, the things that hinder the critical thinking. So basically speaking, certain things that when you find yourself in, or when you do certain things, or when you belong to a certain group of people, basically there are things that will not allow you to become a critical thinker. The first is egocentrism. Ego. If someone has an ego, means that I'm the man. It's not bad to be the man, as long as you are working very hard to be the man or the woman. But egocentrism prevents you from being open. So when someone is an egocentric, they think that they are better than everyone else. So when you think that you're better than everyone else, in your mind you're not wrong. You can never go wrong. So you cannot even apply there. You cannot even have intellectual virtue, right? And if you don't have intellectual virtue, how can you be a critical thinker? So being egocentric, ego is a good thing, but too much of it is gonna impede your ability as a critical thinker. Sociocentrism. Now it's the same definition for egocentrism, just that this time around we are looking at group. So it's talking about, it's referring to a situation whereby a group of people, a gang, they think that they're better than everybody else or every other gang. So they don't really, the same principle. This time we are a group, we're on top, we go everywhere together, and that kind of mentality prevents that group from understanding other groups, and basically speaking, those people in that group will not be able to think critically because they'll be blinded by their own flaws. Undue reliance on the mainstream media, right? This happens to where you listen to news, you listen to bloggers, and you don't really think twice before you believe what they say. When this TV station says this, okay, you put that in your mind. No, you should be able to sit down and say that, no, why are they saying this? What are the implications? What are the inferences? What's all the conjecture that we're looking at? How do I evaluate this? So we have to apply the disposition of a critical thinker to undue reliance on the mainstream media. So whatever information you are getting, you have to fact check before you also go out there and start saying they said this, they said that, they said this, they said that. Stop blindly trusting the media and do your own research. Yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. I know it has been a very long video, but it's for your own understanding, right? The more time you talk about it, the more we know about it. So yes, thank you for watching very much. I appreciate you very much, and please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in Unit 4. Thank you.